Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And where is Amazon's She-Ra series? They announced it. They announced it last year.
Yeah, like last September or something like that.
You mentioned it earlier today. You were like, hey, they announced it. Then they made another announcement of who was working on it in May. And we haven't heard anything in many, many months about this show.
Yeah, nothing. Like no casting, nothing. Like usually they try to put a news story out every few months, keep people interested. There hasn't been anything.
No. So we're going to speculate, and this is just speculation. We don't know exactly what's going on, but we're going to speculate that they're holding off on She-Ra until they see how the Rings of Power does overall, because we've heard before that the Rings of Power is supposed to be a make or break deal for Amazon Prime Video, their exclusives, and if it doesn't do as well as they're hoping, it's possible that Amazon may be like, yeah, we're not sinking a bunch of money into another fantasy show.
Well, do we even know what we're going to get with the live action? I mean, I think everybody, no matter which version of She-Ra you like, all agree that a live action version is probably not a good idea. We saw how they cheaped out in costumes and things with The Lord of the Rings. And that's going to have much larger budget than a She-Ra show would. I am afraid to see what they would do to She-Ra. There's no way in hell they'd spend the money on it to make it, you know, even remotely as close to what they need to spend the money on to make it look good.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's the thing. They're not going to spend as much on She-Ra. It could look like a really bad CW show, and that's not going to do the franchise any favors, but we're going to talk about that. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 275,000 subs. We'd like you to join us. Check out Crimson Ren. We're at almost $62,000 on Crimson Ren. It's ending on Indiegogo in a little less than a week, so check that out. And yeah, so we're going to take a look at everything kind of going on or not going on around this show. Again, we do not know where it is. We're not saying it's canceled.
Oh, no, we don't know that.
But it is weird that there is a definite lack of chatter about the show. And it seems like in general, the Masters of the Universe TV series, we're not hearing a lot about. I mean, Kevin Smith has a second season coming out. They're not promoting it.
Right, but this one, even less. We're hearing even less about it. But I think in general, most people were united in the fact that people don't think that we need this live action show. And they're worried how it's going to come out. No matter if you like the original or you like the new one, you know. This is hilarious to me.
Yeah, so this is a change.org petition. I remember that, fans of Netflix She-Ra were very, very angry that they announced an Amazon reboot.
Well, they made sure they announced that it was not going to be related to the DreamWorks version.
And I don't think it can be for rights reasons and all of that. And it's probably going to, if I had to guess, I'm going to tell you the truth and you're not going to like it. The truth is, I think the DreamWorks incarnation of She-Ra is completely done. I think they're done basically with promoting that show, talking about that show, because if you go out to the toys that are available, all the new stuff that's being announced for She-Ra, like Catra just came out. This is based on classic Catra, Filmation Catra. And, you know, I just don't think that there is any market for merchandise for DreamWorks She-Ra, or they may not be able to do it because DreamWorks is involved.
I don't know, but I just think the petition is hilarious. We looked at it before, but it still strikes me as funny. This is their petition. They're talking about when it got announced that Variety announced Amazon was beginning an upcoming production on She-Ra, and it would consist of a live-action cast and stray completely from the original plotline. Oh, they dead-named N.D. Stevenson.
Oh my God!
But they used Noel, and they dead named N.D. Stevenson. That's problematic.
That is problematic.
Also, I think it's funny because this is the LGBT plus community fought for years to be seen and heard in children's animation, and now because Stevenson and the fans that's why they finally have representation. I'm like, clearly you didn't watch the original, but beyond that. The people, the team, but Filmation, the team behind the original show was extremely diverse. There was a lot of, more so than most places. It was like they were known for this. But no, it's just N.D. Stevenson and crew.
Filmation was known, and we've done a video on this, Filmation was known as the gayest place in town in Hollywood in the 70s and 80s. Lots of gay folks, lots of LGBTQ folks working at Filmation. Erica Scheimer, daughter of Lou Scheimer, who ran the studio, was in charge of He-Man for a while and definitely involved in She-Ra, is gay, openly gay. So yeah.
Well, and it's not even funny.
Whatever.
A lot of the fans of the original show
were gay.
And then but those are the people they keep stepping on, yelling at, calling names, saying they're bigots, istophobes, whatever. I love this part too. Yes, it continues to place the male gaze on heroic women by creating them as objects for male pleasure. This is not okay. That's right. This is not okay. It needs to be left as is, so that all of the lesbians can keep drawing inappropriate fan art, and they can ogle She-Ra's breasts instead. Oh, I'm sorry, lack of breasts, because big boobs are bad instead.
So here's the thing. Again, clearly you don't know the history of She-Ra. Clearly you haven't even looked into it, just casually. She-Ra was designed by a team of women. She-Ra, those characters were designed by women for little girls. They actually...
They had to fight to make them not Barbie doll pretty.
Yeah, they actually made them thicker, more muscular, but they were designed by women for girls. It was an all-female team designing them, as I remember now. There were men involved in helping write the stories, but there were no stories that I can recall, because this is coming from Filmation, where men were trying to cop a feel for She-Ra.
No, but I just love this, because the male gaze. But all the fan art you see, I'm like 99% of fan art are as Kedora by lesbians. So it's completely fine when they ogle a woman. But it's not fine if a man ogles a woman. Well, I'm a woman and I choose to be ogled. So, fuck yourself. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, that's the problem. When a man ogles a woman against her wishes, it's called misogyny.
But it's just funny to me, because it's okay when and then they had She-Ra being underage, and Adora being underage in this one.
Yeah, that was problematic, wasn't it? Because they were shipping the kids because the original, she was like 24 or something like that.
Well, she was definitely over 18. This one they made it clear that it was 16 or whatever, and then they were making pervy fan art of a minor. Anyway. All that aside, it's just funny because they're like, if you care about representation, if you care, you need to know the best interests of the 2018 fan base. They keep specifying it. No, they don't. They didn't have the best interests of the fan base that kept them around for 30 years either. They don't care about the fan base. But the fan base is united in the fact that we think a live action version of this is a bad idea. We are on the same team on that part. We all think it's a shitty, stupid idea. Because if you want it to be a continuation of 2018, I just think it shouldn't happen at all.
I don't think it's going to happen at all. So here's the thing, right? They have to be Amazon. We've done videos before where they had certain metrics that they wanted to hit with the Rings of Power, and the fact that they debuted at number 3 with 2 episodes behind House of the Dragon and frickin' She-Hulk, tells me that the executives at Amazon might be looking at this like, do we really want to do another female-led fantasy show?
Well, I'm going to tell you what I think they're going to do. Given who the director and executive producer, the people from Watchmen, I'm waiting for the announcement. Guess what? Not only is She-Ra a strong female warrior, she's no longer white.
Oh, I'm sure. And yeah, they've got the directors from the HBO Watchmen series. It's going to be definitely what you expect it to be. I guarantee you they're going to be like, and then people complain.
It's because you're racist.
You're racist
and misogynist.
Homophobe, blah, blah, blah. If Mattel were smart, and I'm really starting to question how smart Mattel is. I mean, they're very smart when it comes to their toys, because their toy line's been excellent lately, right?
And they're doing the rumor is they're doing a brushable hair doll they're going to release too.
They actually had leaked photos of brushable hair.
If it's true.
So their toys have been great. They understand what sells. They've been selling to collectors and classic fans. And the CGI He-Man show is actually very good. If they wanted to salvage their brand long term, they're going to have to take tighter control of their IP. They're going to have somebody there who makes sure that there are, like story Bibles, character Bibles. This is what our franchise is. This is what it isn't.
Make She-Ra tight again.
No. But this cat was awesome.
Because, when I was a kid, no one really knew who was fucking who, and they didn't care. It was pretty obvious Bo was wanting to screw Adam or Seahawk, but
they Rainbow Unicorn Pegasus.
I mean,
together,
and no one cared.
Nobody cared.
because it wasn't about that. But okay. That's all the new show was about, was who identifies as what and who's going to sleep with who.
So I'm just thinking if they ever do that.
And pillow fights and best friend squad.
Yeah, I know, right? Another gem reboot. What was it? One song, Who Is He Kissing? This be Who Is He Fucking?
Yeah, that's right. I'm just like,
look at this. Look at this.
That's problematic because boobs.
Boobs. Well, they kind of gave her mannish proportions here.
Well, but that's okay, because remember they tried to say that was okay with the DreamWorks version.
She's walking.
They can't get mad about that.
She's walking like Sasquatch here.
She's walking different, talking different. It's all good.
Maybe she had a really good night
With the Sasquatch.
Maybe it's Eternia. It could have been
Grizzlor.
Oh my God. She-Ra, day after a night with Grizzlor.
They were bringing I don't know if they did it. They were bringing Mattel was bringing a Grizzlor out that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I was going to buy it, and I hope I didn't miss it, which I think I might have missed it.
He's got brushable hair.
I think I missed it, actually. But anyway, yeah, we're not hearing anything much about this other than people, not wanting it to happen. I don't know if it's a case like we're seeing with Warner where they're like waiting or they're going to cut stuff, and they're waiting to see what they're going to chop. And the story out there was if the new Lord of the Rings show didn't do great, that it might be a problem for other shows. So I don't know. Last we heard anything was the announcement of the director, and that was like in May.
Yeah, I mean, look, the development process takes a while. We don't know where the live-action He-Man was. It seems like a lot of these studios, especially now with the recession, are wising up. They're not announcing this stuff like years out anymore because I think they're kind of like, we don't know where we're going to be next year, let alone 3 years from now. So let's be kind of cautious because they had the He-Man movie and it was at was it Noah Centennial or whatever supposed to be in that.
Got changed.
Then that changed, and now it's like with everybody getting laid off all over the place. I have no idea.
You're not hearing anything about it anyway. I like her big man hands. I kind of have big man hands too, so that makes me happy. I just have really big hands.
Grasp the power sword.
That's right.
Anyway, this I thought was funny too, since we're dunking on. We haven't talked about She-Ra in forever. She-Ra,
we talk about it all the time. It's all we care about, according to Twitter.
She-Ra and Halo are basically the same thing, and I can't stop thinking about it.
Wait, what?
They both bastardized the source material. Is that? Is that what we're talking? I don't know. I mean, it's like, look. Here's the thing. Most people have completely forgotten there even was another She-Ra. It's just everybody's kind of moving on, and I'm just like, again, I'm getting the feeling that Amazon's not getting what they were hoping to get for views. For the, for Lord of the Rings, so they might be looking at She-Ra and being like, it's more fantasy stuff.
I don't know, but I think that everybody is in agreement, though, on both sides, that it's a bad idea.
Anyway, we're going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.